evening, freaks. I am here to bring this What's on Deck for You in June read to fruition. We're going to close it up. We're going to do a read to look into what's up for the Pisces Collective in this month of June. And then we're going to do a little something different. We opened this reading series with a collective reading. We're going to close it with a collective reading for those who are on the weird way, the high priestess magician archetype, okay? And just see what's in store for those who are walking, you know, a crafty path. Okay, so I thought it would be kind of fun just to throw a little wild card element into the mix. And we'll be using the arcane bullshit for that particular read, but we're using tarot for Pisces. Okay. So I am just going to dive right in. If you haven't, please subscribe. And to those of you who have, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support for the channel. Also, if the content resonates with you, give a thumbs up. It's nice to know if it's speaking to people. And if you feel like dropping a comment, sharing your experience, that's awesome. I love that. I love to connect with the people who are taking in the readings. Um, and I just wanted to express my gratitude. I really appreciate all the support for the channel and for you choosing to spend your time here. Um, yeah, thank you for being part of the beginning of me growing this channel. I've only been on YouTube since last October, okay? So haven't even made it a year yet. I'm still a baby around here, but I'm really enjoying it. And you might hear Ted munching away there in the background. Never mind him. He interjects now and then, and it's funny because he's here munching away, and I'm going to just get right into Pisces here because Pisces is wanting to come in. Pisces, before I came on tonight, make sure I have this deck turned upright. I was looking out the window and I noticed this large spider web. And the next thing I saw was this spider come in, and it had something it caught, and it wrapped it all up in its web, and then it walked away, and then it came back with a second item, a second kill that it, tangled up in its web, and then walked away, and then it came back with the third. And I think I got a big download off of this. First of all, I feel like you're about to make a killing. Okay. I feel like you're really about to make a killing. And when I say that, I mean, it's like you're gonna be eating well for a while. You know what I mean? Your finances, there's something that's really going to free up in your finances that's going to put you in a real good spot. Like and I think this is something you've been working on for a while. I feel like you're going to make some important network connections in June that are going to open up some different opportunities for you, some different streams, some different revenues, some revenue streams, different sources of income. Yeah, just coming up right here, right off the bat. As I'm shuffling, I see this 10 of Cups. I think it's going to bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of fulfillment. There may be sort of an artistic element to this, some kind of creative element to this. I think you find it very, very much different from the kind of work you've done in the past. I feel like you had to bring a cycle with work to an end because it just wasn't in alignment with who you are. You felt like when you went to work, you really had to put on a whole different kind of persona near the end there. And I feel like a lot of Pisces are kind of transitioning out of old careers and into new ones. And they're looking for careers that are in alignment with their heart, careers that inspire them creatively. And I think you're exploring your options a lot in June. But I feel like there's something that's going to come in through your network. You're out networking right now. You're meeting people. You're making contacts, and it's through your network, perhaps even online, maybe showcasing Your work, what you do online is also going to lead to some valuable connections. But I feel like something's going to come in that's really going to open up the area of finances for you and put you in a really advantageous position where the money's going to be looking really good. Okay. So that came in loud and clear just as an initial message. And, I also get that this right here. Oh, the tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. I feel like you're dealing with three people who have kind of caught themselves up in their own lies. All right. And I think you sort of beat these people at their own game. This may be like a third party situation. Maybe somebody thought they were pulling a fast one over on you, and you kind of caught them going behind your back. When I'm speaking third party, this doesn't have to relate to just romantically, third party situations take place in all areas of life. It can happen in your social circle where there's gossip, and people spreading rumors and kind of, driving a wedge between you and your sources of support. This can happen in family situations where, one sibling gets pitted against another, or, one parent gets pitted against another. This can happen, or even a child against a parent, right? Sometimes, wow, this just really flipped over and I caught it in my hand. Okay, the magician. With the magician coming up here, I just have to mention it. Ooh, okay, there's something important under that magician. We'll see. We'll see what that is when we get to him. Just doing the final pass of the cards here. With that magician card, I feel like there's been some manipulation in play, in these situations. For those who are on the way of the weird, those who are on an occult path, there's been some manipulative magic in play too, causing problems in situations. That came in, this is Broad Covens. We make room for those kind of storylines here in the readings we give. All right. But I do feel like, you kind of set some traps for these people and they sort of fucked themselves, by inadvertently revealing their hand. I feel like you had intuition about this from the start. You knew that, these people were up to no good. You knew that they didn't have the right intentions. And so you sort of like you laid out that web and they fell right into it, man. And I feel you got them all caught up. And now it's sort of like you're the one who's got that ace up your sleeve. Okay. So that's just an interesting message that came in. Since we're on that tangent, I want to see the cards fell out like this, okay? And I was wanting to see what was underneath it, and we see that it is the world, all right? So we see this has come to completion. This fuckery, this manipulation, this is done. It has come to conclusion. And I see that as a result of bringing this situation to an end, bringing these people down who were creating interference in your situation, it actually allows you to have a very successful conclusion and the start of a new cycle. I feel like this energy almost acted as thwarting energy, like it kind of held you back on your path. So, pick how that resonates with you and how that was expressed on your path. But I do feel like there was some, manipulative people on your path. They weren't being totally honest. There was some kind of interference going on. People, butting into areas of your life that were none of their business. Other people causing complication, third party drama dynamics. And I feel like you really just brought this to a close, and that is done. Okay. Yeah, we do see that there was some worry. There was some worry over this situation with the Nine of Swords. It could potentially have to do with a Leo. It doesn't have to, but I always notice in this particular card that the lady is looking back at a lion, and the lion is what's kind of haunting. There might have been some anxiety about this person. Maybe this person, kind of, this is also a card about, keeping you up at night too. So, maybe there was just some kind of concern around this person. I'm getting concerned about what they might do. Maybe you felt like this person was a bit unstable, and that was causing you some worry. You didn't know if they might act out of pocket, and that could cause some disruption. This could have been what there was manipulation around as well. This could have been the manipulative force. I feel like you brought this to an end, and I feel like this also, is what created healing. But at the same time, we look here and we see this Three of Cups and going in alignment with what I was talking about. Remember the spider came in with the three, right? The three kills the spider had, and then I mentioned the third party element. So this could very well be the third party element. And if this particular Leo, for those who are on, an occult path, if this particular Leo was doing any kind of working, I'm kind of feeling like a reconciliation kind of spell working, you know, might have done it with three people, might have done it with like her sisters. I'm picking up her, her sisters. They got together, had a little night when they raised some magic, maybe around the new moon. Maybe around the new moon. I don't know. Something about this might become illuminated to you as we head toward that full moon in Sagittarius on June 14th. That's a super moon, and it's all about expansion. So I feel like it's really going to expose a lot of things that were in the dark. It's going to kind of shine a light on what was hidden. But I feel like there's this element here of like three women coming together. So whether this like third party dynamic in a romantic situation or in a business capacity, I feel like there's something that was going on that wasn't quite right. There was some apprehension around it. It may involve a Leo, but you brought it to conclusion, and we see that this was the right thing to do. It was a sound judgment. Okay, it was a sound judgment, and now it's like it's brought a lot of peace and relaxation because you were able to let that go. And I also see celebration on the other side of it. But there is this piece here. I believe that it's coming up really strong in connection with Leo energy. This Leo may have done some kind of reconciliation working, may have done it, with her sisters that she does magic with, on the new moon. So if you've had suspicions, because I'm reading for a big collective here, it's not going to be everybody's story. But if you've had suspicions that somebody might have done some kind of like come to me kind of working on you, and that's sort of been keeping you up at night, like you've had a little bit of anxiety around that or wondering what's going on with that, I would say it's highly likely that yeah. I see on the bottom of the deck here, 10 of Cups. Okay. So, yeah, I am picking up this very strong for somebody. It's somebody's story and somebody needs to hear it. That somebody wanted a reconciliation and love. They did some kind of love working, If you've been having trouble sleeping at night, if you found that you've been really like your sleep cycles have been thrown off, or really disrupted, it could be you are feeling the pull of the energy of somebody doing some kind of manipulative working like that. Again, this is not going to be everybody's story, but if you are somebody, who does magic, if you are somebody who walks that path, and you associate with people on that path, that could be it. Your intuition could have been dinging, but I don't see there anything to worry about. Like straight up, this person's magic's hella weak, man. This person has hella weak magic. Like it looks like you're sleeping soundly now. It's more like, oh, isn't that funny? The spider and the fly. Uh, what is that saying? what is normal to the spider is chaos for the fly. Okay. I feel like this boomerang energy is going to come back real fast to the person who did that shit. So somebody out there is about to get the backhand of some kind of manipulative working like that. And I think for you, if your sleep cycles were thrown off, you just felt this like manipulative energy in your space. Maybe you didn't equate it with anything like that, but I think you're starting to feel a lot more peaceful, but I think that has everything to do with the fact that you like cut off this energy. Yeah, I see you put them out in the cold. You got 5 of Pentacles flew out there. So there was somebody who was trying to manipulate your energy in some way, but you cut them off. 5 of Pentacles, you're done with that. You kick that energy to the curb, and they're feeling it too. Believe me, they're feeling it. That might be why somebody tried to pull some shit. They felt that you blocked them out, so they were just trying to get their creepy, crawly, claws into your space with that 5 of Pentacles energy there. It's almost like they drained you of your energy. They needed you. It was like feeding time, and you cut off their supply. Yeah, and I see that once you did this, you felt your energy really come back to you with this Ace of Wands. We also see it's interesting because when I saw the spider, I looked up in the sky and I saw this cloud, and the cloud was in the shape of an owl. And I was going to bring this into your reading. And here's an owl with this Ace of Wands. And owls they're able to peer into the darkness, right? They're able to see what most can't see. And I feel like you saw this coming from a mile away. I feel like even if you're not on that path, I feel like you were dealing with somebody who's like trying to cord you. You were dealing with somebody who's trying to get their fucking, energetic claws into you. And I think you saw it from a mile away. And that's why you cut this person off. And I see that once you did that, you felt so much energy flow back into your space. And this is really good because I feel like this may sound wild, but I feel like this person kind of hanging around you, they actually like blocked the flow of your abundance. Sometimes when we have certain energies around us, they can have almost like a thwarting kind of influence. And I feel this person was like a roadblock on your path energetically. And by you cutting the cord on that, it allowed all your energy to come back. It gives you the power to act, and I feel like you're really going to have a new beginning. It starts now. It starts in June. You're going to feel this energy building over the summer. But I believe that come fall, wow, you're really going to be able to act with authority on some inspired vision that you're building. And it's going to bring a really amazing new beginning for you. You're going to be moving forward with passion and purpose. Athena, the name Athena is coming in just because of that owl. It makes me think of goddess Athena. You may know Athena, and Athena may be in connection with this, and may bring some opportunity your way that you'll really see take off in the fall. I think it would also be really helpful for you to connect with that energy, to connect with goddess Athena. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's something that wants to come through in regard to Athena. Okay. So whether this is, connecting with goddess Athena's energy, or I just got this, some of you may have a project that has something to do with Athena, or Athena is part of your business's name. There's some kind of Athena connection, maybe even Athens. This might be something. I'm going to go way out there. Okay. It always happens when I start to do like the Pisces and the High Priestess magician reads. You may have actually initially had this inspiration in a past life that's related to Athens, Greece. And in this past life, it had something to do with you putting your vision or your voice out there. I'm getting something around speaking specifically or using the voice. And this is meant to come forward to its full fruition in this life, because in your past life you were suppressed. So it never got to see its full expression. And what you kick off and fall is going to be like seeding that. It's going to seed what's going to grow into what you should have fulfilled that life. And it's almost like this karmic come around, okay? It's like full circle. It's this big moment of healing, but it doesn't just heal you in this moment because you're really aligned with like your purpose and your passion, but it actually like extends that healing back through your spiritual DNA is what I'm really getting. And that's really going to empower you moving forward in the future. It's really interesting. I feel like it lifts generational curses. I don't know why all this is coming in. I feel like this has something to do with like a generational curse, quote unquote, of poverty, like poverty consciousness. And maybe this is something that you've seen kind of play out in your family bloodline. Maybe this is something that you have noticed even in your own life, going through times that were really lean. And maybe this has been something that's been a big focus for you, generating, you know, your own financial stability because of this and seeing this trend. I believe that you've already recognized this. You've already recognized that there's like generational healing to be done around this. And I feel like whatever work you're entering into now, it sort of like levels that field. And then it gives you what you need to act on your vision, manifest it in material reality, and it pays off with wealth because you blocked these influences that actually supported and fed into that consciousness. You actually blocked these influences that were just taking energetically from you, that was leaving you in a space of feeling like this energetic lack, you know, because these people were draining. So once you did that, it's like allows you to come into this place of fullness within yourself, and then it materially externalizes like in your reality, you know, and comes through in the form of material abundance. And I believe it's through doing a project, some kind of project that you're really impassioned by. Woo! Sees you moving into big boss energy with this Emperor card here, okay? That's amazing. I see you fully stepping into your power, taking charge, moving forward with authority. You're going to know exactly where you're going and what you're after. Yes, your ships are coming in with this Three of Wands energy. I think you got a very important cycle launching right now in June, Pisces. So really pay attention. Pay attention to the type of, you know, news that's coming in the form of people offering you different creative directions to explore that are related to building your finances. I feel like you're meant to head in a creative direction with your finances, doing something that it goes beyond just like sort of, you know, the drudgery of the day-to-day grind. I feel like you need to do something at this point that really feeds you on a soul level. And I believe you're going to invest in that. You're going to invest in that. But I also see you getting some kind of training or some kind of education, learning a new skill in connection with what you're going to be doing that you're really going to, I see you launching it in the fall. I see you launching it in the fall. And it feels like it's like your own thing, you know? It's something you're going to build for yourself. Yes. Yes. I mean, I really feel like this is something that you have thought about since you were a child. It's something that used to inspire you when you were a child, and whatever it is that you're doing, it sort of like reawakens that childlike part of you, you know, that part of you that's just excited, you know, excited to be learning something new, discovering something new, exploring yourself creatively. Maybe this is something that in the past it kind of got silenced in you, like you didn't have the support necessarily from the people around you. And so you just sort of like, you left it behind, in the past. And now you're with this 8 of Cups energy. You're walking away from work that doesn't fulfill you anymore. You're ready for work that fulfills you on a soul level. I'm even though there's like this Cups energy on the board, I'm really getting this around your work. I feel like it's work that speaks to your soul. I mean, even here with this 2 of Cups energy, okay, which often speaks of a soulmate connection. Right beside it, we have this 3 of Pentacles, okay? And to me, this is like working together with others that you feel very aligned to on a soul level to build something that will grow and guarantees financial stability. But it sort of means the death of the old way of what you've been doing with this death card here, right? Scorpio energy. We see that that was a real burden to you. We see for a lot of years you've taken on a lot of responsibility, you were carrying a lot of weight, and the things that you really wanted to grow, you couldn't because you had so much else you had to take care of, that what you really wanted to grow just withered on the vine. But we see this turning around. We see the turnaround of this. It's coming in. It's coming in June. You're going to see this starting to build with this 9 of Pentacles energy. This is my independently owned and operated card. This is somebody who goes into business for themselves. They're doing what they love. They feel very fulfilled and they will be extremely abundant with it. And they are really enjoying it. It's like feeling that beautiful, self-fulfilled energy. And we see that this is going to shift very fast. I see within about 2 months. Okay. So again, like it's coming up for all signs in Leo season, you're really going to see this take off. There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming your way. I see you maybe even doing a bit of traveling at that time. This could be in connection with the work that you're doing. I do feel like there's a creative element involved, and it's going to be a very transformational experience for you with this butterfly here in the background of this card. And with the butterfly there, with butterfly medicine, it's all about paying attention to what phase of this are you at right now. Are you at the caterpillar stage, just starting to get the inkling about it? Have you already decided, no, I got some idea what I need to do, or at least I know I need to leave behind the work I was doing before. And now you've entered this like chrysalis stage. Are you at the goop stage, where everything's dissolved and kind of come undone and you're sort of sitting there like this puddle going, okay, I don't know what's next, but I trust that something comes from this transformation soup? Or are you just starting to emerge from your cocoon? Um, or are you ready to like sprout those wings and take flight? Only you know where you're at in your stage of development. That's what butterfly medicine is all about. It's also about working with color, working with color for enhancing your vision, your manifestations. And I did have a color come in for you, and it's why I'm using this particular color of light. But purple is coming in for you really strong. And that makes a lot of sense to me because purple is the color of Ajna, the third eye chakra. So I feel like a lot of visionary stuff is going to be coming in for you during the month of June. You may even have a very active dream life. Now that this fuck shit energy, you cut it off and you're not going to have this energy like pooling at your auric field. I feel like you're going to be sleeping a lot better. I feel like your dreams are going to be really front and center. I feel like you might get some kind of messages coming through in your dreams, something that gives you a clue about the next direction to head in, the next step to take. And I feel like a lot of kind of like vision coming forward. I feel that that's what June is about for you. June is about really hatching your vision, and where you felt like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm not really sure what my vision is. I just know I want to do my own thing. I know it has this element to it. I know that it's creative. It's something that speaks to my soul. I feel like where you've been trying to fill in the gaps are going to be filled in June, and it's going to become incredibly clear for you. Okay. I do see with this Two of Pentacles, there is a bit of juggling finances, right now. And that may be a concern for you. All right. But it's really about, bringing down the tower on, the old way of doing things in terms of work, because you would have just stayed in that balancing place. And at what cost? It's like, yeah, okay, so maybe you would have been able to, make your bills or, pay for your basic needs, but what's weighing in the balance of that? Your self-satisfaction, your fulfillment on a soul level, your creativity, your passion, your sense of purpose. That's a lot to pay. And I think that, you really had to bring this tower down. The old way had to go. And, you've been in a process of resting, and I feel like you're coming out of that with this Four of Swords energy. Yeah, and it lands you right in this Queen of Pentacles energy, where you are going to manifest your material abundance. And it's going to come through you doing your own thing, striking out independently. This is also Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you might have one of those signs strongly aspected in your chart. And I just want to do a cut of the deck energy for you, Pisces. See any further details here? I see yes, with this Seven of Wands energy, do, keep your boundaries. I see there's a lot of energies that want to gain access to you, okay? They all want something from you. And I feel like it's very important for you to keep your boundaries secure your own time and space for yourself. I also, just with the nature of this reading that came in for you, I also really want to stress that, you got a brilliant idea here. So be careful who you share it with, all right? Be careful. I encourage you to kind of keep things to yourself. Not everybody needs to know your moves. Don't announce your moves. Just fucking, lay it on them. Shock them with it, when in the fall you make your grand debut and you take everybody back, don't let them know your moves, because as we see, you already got a lot of energies that want to interfere in your life. And if you start, tooting your own horn and talking about what you're planning, what you're working on, it could invite, more of that kind of like just meddling energy your way. You don't need to deal with drama, especially when you're working on building something for yourself and working to bring it to fruition. It really can be distractive, and that can cause a problem. Yep. Really, this message is coming through for you with the Nine of Wands. Guard your space. Guard your space, okay? I see it turning out really, really well for you. Whatever you're cooking, it's going to come to quite the simmer. You're going to start getting it bubbling in June, and what a feast it will put on your table. Really good stuff coming in for you, Pisces, this June. So hatch those visions. They will pay off. They are worth your investment. We're going to switch decks here, is we're going to do this new collective read for the High Priestess and the Magician archetype collective. It might get a little wild because I'm working with the arcane bullshit deck here, okay? And it's always interesting, but I just want to see what's coming up for those who are walking the weird way. I felt it was just kind of a fitting segue, since Pisces does represent the High Priestess in tarot. And so I just wanted to bring that energy in for those who are on the priestess path or the priest path, those who are working, on that path of alchemy. Maybe you do workings, maybe you don't. Maybe you just like to partake in, ritual. Maybe you are beyond ritual and you can just, work with the energy within yourself for transmutation and manifestation. But you know if this reading is for you, if your spirituality is connected to the old ways and is a bit off the beaten path. You won't necessarily find you going to the church potluck. Let's just put it that way, okay? You may go to the church. You may even, you may partake of some workings in a church. I did some workings in a church before myself, I have to tell you. And it was quite effective, and it actually was a big healing for me. This is coming in for me right now, so it might be pertinent to you, high priestesses and magicians. Um, I was doing a working with Saint Anthony, and I grew up in a very strict Christian religion, but I always knew that I was a witch, even when I was a little girl. And I felt very connected to the earth, and I felt very connected to fairy, even as a little girl. I always was. And I never felt comfortable within the church, okay? And yet I felt very conflicted because I also felt a deep love for something higher than myself. So it was very confusing for me, because everything that also resonated with me and spoke to me as a little girl was what I was told was evil. I was told that magic was evil, and uh, fairies, things like this were evil, and so it led to a lot of conflict inside of myself. And through just exploring different root work traditions. I have some Native ancestry, Comanche ancestry, and in exploring, these Native traditions and, the hoodoo traditions, of, the root work traditions of my particular, ancestry. And also learning a bit about voodoo from Louisa Teach, who's just Yeye Teach, is such an amazing gem, an amazing teacher. Everybody should benefit from what she has to offer. If you're interested in learning about hoodoo or root work, I can't recommend her highly enough. Check out her website, Crossroads. It's an online school. She also does a lot of live workshops. But I've done some works. Uh, I've done some work with people in these traditions, and I've learned, and it's integrated on my path. And because there's the use of Psalms, in a lot of these workings, I've actually found a real deep sense of healing. So I feel like, some of you may be bridging this gap, maybe some of you are kind of like, this month in June, you're finally coming out of the broom closet to maybe your community of people who didn't know, you were working on this level. Maybe some of you do metaphysical work. Maybe some of you are readers or mediums, and you've started doing this work and you're kind of public with it. You've never been quite, out in the open like that. And so you're letting people see a different side of yourself. And as you're sort of trying to reconcile, like, the past conditioning that was put on you with where you're at now, and just sort of coming. I feel like you're coming to a place of closure, sort of like this full circle feeling with that, where you're really recognizing how your spiritual path had to play out just the way it did, and what value you are gaining in terms of self knowledge, and really transmuting those old energies that held you back by, you know, standing in your truth and letting people see you for who you are, and owning your spirituality with out taking on these judgmental labels, that people have slapped on it, that just simply just don't understand your path. Your path's not wrong. I think there's some of you that maybe have felt guilty for a long time because you were raised in traditions that told you what your beliefs are now are wrong. And even though on a conscious level, you knew that that was bullshit, on a subconscious level, it still had an effect on you that held you back in some way, that kept you kind of hiding, hiding your path from others. And in hiding that aspect of you, which is really like the core of you, you felt like you were being a little out of step with your true soul's purpose on your path. And it was a very like disjointed feeling. I feel like a lot of you are doing this work. You're like integrating your history in terms of your spirituality. You're shedding old religious beliefs, that were put on you that kind of um, labeled you a certain way, or had you feeling very guarded about how your beliefs have changed now. And I really see you like stepping out of the broom closet, owning your path, letting people see who you are and saying, yeah, this is who I am. And I'm not ashamed of it. So I'm not going to hide it. And it's not a dirty little secret, this is my heart. This is what aligns with my spirit. I think it's going to be very, very healing for you. Yeah, it's kind of funny. The card that comes up here is the toilet angel. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. I feel like a lot of you are really trying to cut ties, with some of the traditional religious dogma that was put on you in your youth. I feel like it created a feeling where you didn't feel understood at all. I feel like this was particularly difficult for you when you were in your teen years, That's what's coming through for me, for the collective that I'm talking to. I feel like when you were a teenager, this caused you so much confusion, It's like it made you feel like shit. These people made you feel like shit, like something was wrong with you, And I feel like you're really giving them the fucking finger, and you're also like protecting yourself by standing in your truth and saying, I don't need to take that shit on that you put on me. I'm going to fucking flush that shit because I've tapped into my higher knowledge. And I know the sovereignty of this and standing in my own truth, and something can look like it's all love and light and it's good, it's what's the right path, and maybe for those people it is the right path, for those in traditional religious upbringings, and if it speaks to them, that's wonderful. But I see that, as a young person, this really created a sense of division within you between your head and your heart. Like, on one side you had, the influence of what people were telling you was the right thing to do, what was good, what was moralistic, and then inside of you, your heart was telling you something different. Your heart was telling you what these people are telling me is full of shit, and then with that serpent energy there, I think that you discovered that that was the real lie, the real lie was that your desire to seek this self knowledge, the way that you were guided to, these different types of viewpoints, these different philosophies, these different spiritual, perceptions. Like, if it's true, if the truth is true, then it should never be threatened by what is false, right? Because truth is self-evident, okay? And I think the fact that you were like, something about this doesn't feel true for me. It's not resonating with my truth. I'm going to take the risk of exploring. I feel like some of you took such a risk that you really wanted to see, is it true what they told me? Will evil really, come upon me if I pick up some tarot cards, if I do this spell? I feel like when you were younger, you were a bit of a daredevil, in this regard. You wanted to test the waters. You were told that all these bad things would happen to you if you went down that path. And in the end, all you found was, you know what? This is who I am. I'm noticing the feet here are very wild. It reminds me of Baba Yaga, that wild energy. And I love Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is one of my most favorite goddesses, okay? But people have always feared the energy of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is that wild, uncontrollable force, that unknown, that witch at the hedge, and because Baba Yaga is not understood, Baba Yaga is feared, okay? But I feel like you're really claiming this part of yourself. You're like, there's there is, the way of the mind, and the rules and the doctrine and the dogma. And then there's what my heart tells me. And somewhere in between is the third way, the middle way, where I can straddle the line between these two. And it's the place where my head and my heart meet. And that is my point of transformation in my spiritual path. Really cool message, but I do see you all owning it. In some cases, I just got some of you. This is a very new transition for you. Some of you are actually leaving your congregations, you're leaving your churches, you are branching off to do your own thing. And it's been a very emotional experience for you. It's brought up a lot. And you've been releasing a lot. You've been letting go of a lot in relation to this. But I feel like it's just moving all that shit out of your system. And as you do that and you flush it, you're going to feel so much clearer and so much more in alignment with your path and the direction you're meant to head in. Yeah, I really feel with this, like, I'm looking at this, pregnant babies energy here. There was something that you understood even as a child. It's like this seed was inside of you that was growing even as a child. Like, you never felt quite right on the path that your parents had birthed you into. It's like when you're a kid, you don't even get a chance to really choose your spiritual direction. It's kind of thrust upon you. And I feel like there was so much fear ingrained, right, in your religious upbringing, and seeing this like monster energy behind you. And I feel like you've really been doing a lot to cut off this energy, because you realize, like, that's not where the golden carrot is. That's not where the sweet reward is. The sweet reward is really just in owning my path, with this king shit energy. Again, I also see Taurus energy really strong here. Also, those born in the year of the ox. Okay. Ted is speaking up here. I think he needs to, Ted needs to go and take a king shit. Just a second. Let me open up the door and let him out. How fitting, okay? I really feel like you all are letting that shit go, okay? You're letting that shit go. And as you let this shit go, again, like I was saying, it's like you're feeling that sense of sovereignty. You're saying, fuck you, to all those people who told you who you had to be. And I feel like you really do have, your self-knowledge. You see clearly. You have your self-knowledge. And you're also protected as you, move forward on this path. So, let these people talk. Let them think that what you're doing is a bunch of bullshit, simply because they don't understand. It's not their way. We each have our own way. But I really feel like the more that you stand in your power, the more that you do your own thing, the more that you allow yourself to be authentic. 44 on the clock when I said that, okay? This is all about you standing in your truth, letting it be evident, letting it be seen. And it puts you in a place of power in your life where you're no longer living according to the dictates of others. You're really following your own way. And I want to do a cut of the deck energy here for the High Priestess Magician Collective. It's on this side. Oh, it's so wild because with the Pisces, that owl came in and we have the super horny porno owl. Okay. And we have the, remember the butterfly imagery came in too. We have the pupa vomiting on cats. This is a really interesting energy here. Really interesting energy here. This again, it's kind of feeding into this story that opened up with Pisces. So it's so funny for this to come in this reading. But I do feel like there's somebody out there in the witchy collective that's been doing some manifestation work, some sexual manifestation work, probably working with sex magic. Maybe you've, made some sigils. You've been pleasuring yourself and, charging them with your release there. This could be a masculine that's done this. I see like, he's got a couple pussy cats he's been interested in, trying to call that energy in. Again, I'm going to just reiterate it because it already came in for Pisces. We do see the owl energy here. Owl also is a totem that represents magic, okay? Magic. Whoever did this working, they already blew their load, okay? What's done is done. Like the magic's been done, and now you have to just kind of see how it gets wings and takes flight, But I feel like with Athena here, deeds that are done in the dark, they will be exposed, right? They will be exposed. And I feel like this is just a cue here to those of you who feel like maybe somebody's been, manipulating your energy field a bit, those who feel like somebody's been trying to pour it into them, or they felt that pull, and it hasn't felt right. Do your protection magic, just make sure you're exercising good energetic boundaries, okay? So you don't have to deal with any fuck shit, I think that just by you doing this, it's really going to dead this energy here, okay? We see this card is definitely not about sex. You're going to internally master this situation, you recognize that these kind of workings, for those of you that did this kind of a working, I think you're beginning to alchemize this energy. You might be thinking of how can I reverse this energy? It sort of brought through some illumination in you that, yeah, you can use your creative energy that way, but it's really limiting. It actually keeps you caught in like samsara. It keeps you caught in this like karmic cycle. It doesn't really allow you to evolve. And the true golden egg is like in transcending that and really working with your magic to transform the self. Okay. This might have to do something with Aunt Brenda. We see Aunt Brenda here. She's got this man in her grasp. She is not letting this man go. She's like, baby, you can ring my bell, okay? He's like the one that got away. That's what I just heard in my mind. And we see vengeance, vengeance, maybe this Aunt Brenda character, it doesn't have to be a Brenda, but maybe Brenda plays a significant role. But we do see, somebody here is trying to hold on to somebody that really, wants to transform that energy, doesn't want this person to kind of go off on their own and be independent. I almost said dependent, I almost said dependent. Doesn't want this person to be dependent. That's another story. Maybe, there may be some people out there who feel like they've had this man that's been very dependent on them, and they're kind of like trying to call in some different lovers too with sex magic to, as a way to kind of get revenge. Like, I'll show you, you don't treat me right. You want to drain me dry. Well, I'm going to manifest my own options here, and then you'll see what's up. Yeah, the dildo wizard. You with this former child star energy here, you got to strike a match to that. Don't act out in these childish ways, trying to be somebody. if it ain't working for you, take a stand, do what's right, cut it off, and then go out and have all the D you want. But don't do manipulative magic like this because it never turns well. That's the guidance that I have for you for June, High Priestess and Magician Collective. And it is 55:05 on the clock. It's going to be a month of a lot of change, but it leads to wild gifts. So hang on tight. Just know that it's all heading to a good place. And as we get further into Leo season, we're really going to see it take off. So just be patient. We don't have much longer to wait until Leo season starts. We're looking at that like towards the end of July, August. Things are really going to start to pop off, but we're definitely going to see the energy building, helpful people coming in, helpful paths to explore coming in. So keep your eyes peeled, go with what's a fuck yes, and cut off what doesn't meet that level of resonation with you. You're going to know. And it's almost like I wanted to say resignation almost, you got to cut off those things that you feel like resigned to, and instead open up the places that open up to the places and experiences and people where you're feeling resonance, not resignation, resonance. All right. And with that, it was 56:11 on the clock, 11:11, baby. Okay. Big blessings coming in. I'm going to cut this off. This wraps it up for the reads for June for all the signs. I'll be back next month with this series. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what other kind of readings you'd like to see here. I'd love to cater to you and, create a space for you to come and really enjoy yourselves while you're here. And again, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. It definitely helps the channel. And thank you so much for choosing to spend your time here kicking it with me on Broad Coven. Have a wonderful night.